I want to go now to our mainland political landscape, which, of course, after Saturday's New South Wales election is devoid of Liberal governments. As I discussed last week with John Howard, in politics there are always cycles. There have been times when one of the major parties has held sway right across the country. Labor's done it before, so has the coalition. So you don't want to overdo the history here. You don't want to overdo the analysis. But when it does happen, parties do need to consider why. And the coalition parties are in a world of pain right now. Well, especially the Liberals. And there's a clue right there, because the Nationals haven't fallen by the wayside the way the Liberals have. People still have some idea of what the Nationals stand for. They have no idea what the Liberals stand for at the moment. The left, and that of course means most of the media, have continually given the Liberal Party the same message. They demand that the Liberals move to the left. They don't call it that. They say it's shifting to the centre or even modernising, which is all nonsense, of course, because the Liberal Party has always been a mainstream party, a centre-right party. The trouble is that the Liberals over the past decade have taken that advice. They've done this now. They went left. They did it federally under Malcolm Turnbull and Scott Morrison. They did it in Victoria, Western Australia and Queensland from opposition. They did it in South Australia under Stephen Marshall, and they did it in New South Wales under 4 different premiers, even Dominic Perrottet in the end, who shelved his conservatism and ran with a Matt Green cash handout style of government. And look how well it turned out for them. Ask Perrottet. Ask Marshall. Ask people like Josh Frydenberg, Tim Wilson, Dave Sharma and Trent Zimmerman. What a masterstroke it's been. But have a listen to what moderate Liberal or Liberal left power broker Michael Photius told me about all this on Saturday night.
If that's a model that doesn't work, it won tonight for Labor. And the team that came second subscribed to the same team.
You can't all run the same policies, though. That's a one-party state.
We sure can't. But talking of one, let's turn to One Nation. They seem to have not gone anywhere near the vote that they were expecting.
That certainly hurt you, though.
They have, because they haven't given preferences in Western Sydney.
Really, hey? So the policies worked for Labor, therefore the Liberals should do the same. But Labor are a leftist party, Michael. They're a democratic socialist party, a union party. The Liberal Party is supposed to be of the right. That's what people want from it. How can you expect people to vote Liberal if the Liberals say they want to be just like Labor? And note how Photius also makes the immediate comparison to One Nation, to whom the Liberals actually lost a lot of crucial votes in key seats along the way, by the way. But Photius portrays this as a choice between being like Labor or being like One Nation, as if there's no room in between for a centre-right party. That is the Liberals. Remember them, Michael? You're a member. You get the same from other members of the so-called Liberal left.
On Saturday night, Chris Kenny basically suggested that the Liberal Party should chase the 1.7% of One Nation rather than actually going after the 10% of people who we got only 4 years ago to vote for us. One Nation and chasing those votes of Mike
policy and all things along the way.
Listen to these people chasing votes. They believes in nothing. Falinski went left and lost his seat. The genius of his approach left him out of Parliament, his party out of government, federally, and now in his home state too. And his seat is held by a Teal, who Falinski apparently wants to emulate. And he suggests I'm an advocate for One Nation, which I never have been. Pal, they go to One Nation. Votes go to One Nation because you drive them away. It's your loss, even if it's not much of a gain for One Nation. This is just such dumb politics from Falinski and crew. The way to avoid defeat, they say, the way to avoid being defeated by your opponent is to actually become your opponent, just like your opponent. It's the ultimate whatever it takes mentality. The opposite of conviction politics or values-based politics. All Falinski needs is a Teal T-shirt and a sex change, unless the Teals eventually run some men, I suppose. Look, the point is that instead of accentuating policy differences with Labor, the left Liberals have tried to neutralise every issue. This is the hallmark of the Liberal moderates. They save all their arguments for internal factional warfare. They don't like to debate policies or values with Labor. They don't even have the stomach to stand up to the mindless ranting on Twitter. They want a form of politics that's just a contest of personalities and brands and electoral handouts. That's going to spell the end of the Liberal Party. It's the end of right-of-centre politics, because right-of-centre politics exists to resist the tide of superficial political fashion. It exists to stand up for tried and tested political values: strong economic management, small government, low taxes, family values, individual choice. It's not exactly hard right or rocket science. When was the last time mainstream voters were presented with a decent choice at an election where there was a right-of-centre party espousing right-of-centre values? The Liberals even refused to promote affordable and reliable energy, for crying out loud. To find the answer, to get the road map out of this, all you have to do is visit the Liberal Party's website and look at the "We Believe" statement, and you'll see the basic principles that voters need to see, the basic principles the party too often has ignored. The first 3 sentences tell the story. We believe in the rights and freedoms of all people, and we work towards lean government that minimises interference in our daily lives and maximises private sector initiative. The Liberals are also supposed to believe in government encouraging people through incentives, not punishing them with burdensome taxes, the corporate state and bureaucratic red tape. And then there's the freedoms of democracy, of thought, of worship, of speech and association. It's not hard, is it? Small government, private enterprise, low taxes and personal freedom. How can those beliefs be interpreted through back-to-school vouchers, sports vouchers, creative vouchers, energy rebates, toll rebates and a taxpayer-funded kids saving plan? In what universe is that small or lean government? How can those beliefs be interpreted in an environmentally futile but economically devastating move to subsidise unreliable renewable energy and penalise reliable and affordable fossil fuel energy so that we impose an energy price and supply crisis on an energy-rich nation? Where was the alternative to this approach? There was none. The only choice at most of these elections is between Green left, Labor left and Liberal left. Where was the constraint on government spending, the balanced budget approach? Where was the back to basics approach in education or standing up for the rights of women and girls? No, the Liberals won't do that because they fear criticism from the ABC and Twitter and from within their own ranks. I could go on, but you get the drift. The Liberal Party is supposed to be a values-based party. Without values, it's pointless. At the moment, it looks a little aimless at best, which is why so many people found it easy to allocate their votes elsewhere. And it's also why its critics on the left and in the media continue to encourage it further down that very path.